Hey, I'm Karai. Like some Viktor content, some middling content? Consider subscribing, maybe even hitting that like button. It'll help me up a lot. And if you do, you'll get blue buff. Viktor Challenger. The only rule, I can only play Viktor. Unless it's banned, then we're playing Orianna. No Viktor jungle, no Viktor support, maybe Viktor Bali, and that's about it.
Hello friends, welcome back to the Viktor 2 Challenger series. It's the first few games of Master. I have a couple of interesting games here today. But first, let's answer the YouTube comment. How do I decide when to go Lich Bane? That's a good question because even for myself, there are games where I don't know if I should go Lich Bane or not. There's one game in this video where I definitely should have went Zhonyas instead of Lich Bane. I think Lich Bane on its own is a really good item on Viktor. However, there are some games where if the enemy has things like, if they have full AD, if they have things like Rek'Sai, Zed, the very common Zhonyas counters, I think going Zhonyas is probably better in those games. However, if you feel like you're gonna snowball or you're getting snowballed, I think Ludens and Lich Bane is a really good 2-item power spike where you can almost just lane by yourself on the side lane, and anyone that comes to you just one-shot them. So at the end of the day, it really just depends on the game itself. See if the enemy has things where you need to dodge with Zhonyas, or if not, then you can just go for Lich Bane. But going back into the game, you can see that I'm playing against a Garen mid with a Qiyana jungle on the enemy team. I was trying to slow push, or I was trying to hold a freeze rather, but I think I messed up and now it becomes a slow push. So the next thought is definitely like, okay, if this is a slow push, I have to try to push as soon as possible when the next wave hits so I can crash it without getting ganked by Qiyana. But the thought I should be having is definitely like, okay, this wave is not pushing fast enough. How should I react when Qiyana comes? I've looked at this play a lot and I felt like the gravity field definitely could have been placed better. I also feel like if I didn't mess up my freeze, I definitely could have held him longer and then waste Qiyana's time. I think up to this point, everything was kind of okay aside from the little messed up that caused the lane to slow push. But the next mistake that I made here is definitely not TPing back to lane. Some of you might argue that say, hey, you don't have to TP back to lane. The lane's not going to push fast enough. In fact, it's going to hold right here, which, you might be right. But looking back, I feel like if I TP back to lane, I probably could have thinned out the wave more instead of trying to hold this big wave. And I literally lost half my health here just trying to hold the wave in front. Had I TP back to lane, I probably would have, thinned out the wave. The other way of looking at it is also, why did I buy Sapphires, Crystals, and also Boots if I'm trying to hold a wave in front of me? If I really wanted to hold a wave, I should have instead gotten maybe an Amp Tome, or maybe even Darksteel and also Refuelable Pot, just to help me in lane more. Instead, I didn't do either, and I lost half my health, and now I'm in lethal range. Now, because I don't have Flash, because I had to burn it earlier, Garen has Flash, and when he hits 60, he is definitely going to go on top of me, and, he can kill me with lethal range. So right now, I decided, okay, you know what, I messed up, I have to hard push this, but then, a little jungle gap here, Qiyana tries to hold the wave, which honestly, looking back, I still don't think it's that great for Qiyana. It's great for Garen, yes, but because Qiyana held the wave, my Bel'Veth was able to get 2 kills down bot. I didn't TP again because I felt like if I TP back to lane, Qiyana's probably going to kill me when I walk up because I don't have Flash, and both of them have Flash. So now I'm just really screwed by my own. At this point, there's really not much I can do. Again, like, I felt like I had poor itemization. My runes, I think First Strike was okay. Hindsight, maybe I should have taken Phase Rush because Garen has Phase Rush. But I think right here, the logic was that, like, since Garen is melee, I could probably proc First Strike a lot more times. Here, I see that, Garen was going bot side. So again, like, I'm just trying to hold the freeze here, trying to scale as much as I can by holding this freeze here, or as trying to hold it as long as I can. Garen is just constantly pushing the wave, which is, I think, not that bad since the side lanes aren't really pushed up to give the enemy an opportunity for them to get ganked. And for me, I really don't want to interact with anything until I get my upgrades and my items. I remember in this one part, this play here where Garen is trying to... I see Garen heading topside. I know Qiyana is also topside because Qiyana was just seen around topside jungle when Bel'Veth engaged or invaded. I wanted to contest with this Herald because I felt like Darius was probably slightly ahead. But unfortunately, Garen, or Darius rather, got engaged on. Bel'Veth is still really squishy in the early game, and then we kind of... I guess this is more of a positional error on my part, because there's no way that I can sandwich the Qiyana and Garen. Garen has a much easier time sandwiching the Darius and Bel'Veth. So it's kind of a mistake on my end where I didn't really take into account how this fight should be approached. But nevertheless, I TP top lane because top side has a big wave, and Darius went to mid lane just to collect the wave here. Here, I made another mistake. Oh my god, like these mistakes are so rookie-like. Where instead of going E upgrade, I think going Q upgrade would have been better. I made a slight skip here, but I'll just explain it briefly. I think against a Kiana and Garen, there was no way that I could have shoved the wave and try to hit the turret. Sure, I could shove the wave, but realistically, I just want to have Q so I can survive better in the case where they do try to be aggressive with me. I can have more options with a Q upgrade instead of an E upgrade. Because E upgrade really just helps you shove faster. You don't really do much with it. You could say you could farm better with E upgrade, but realistically, if you're not having the ability to go into the jungle or the river, you can't really take camps using your E upgrade. So I think Q there probably would have been much better. And also the general consensus is that Q against melees and assassins is usually much better. I skipped that whole fight, but this upcoming fight, we picked up the Janna here. And I feel like we probably could have been able to take this Drake here. It's 5 against 4, but Jin's ult is kind of weird here. We're kind of caught in a really weird spot where Jin is cut off and it's just the 3 of us. I lay a gravity field in the choke point. Vlad tries to engage on us, and you know, I'm still pretty healthy here. Taric is back up. Unfortunately, Taric does not have ult, so Taric is half a champion. I try to do as much as I can by kiting in. Jin does a very aggressive flash going into to maybe try to pick up one of their carries here. But this is where kind of Zeri shines, where we're kind of in a choke point, and I'm just trying to not get hit by the Zeri autos, but I also want to pick off the Kiana here. Unfortunately, we couldn't get any kills here, which resulted in Bel'Veth not having any resets. And for some reason, Darius just went straight into the enemy team here. I still have flash here, so I flashed out. No big deal for me. But ultimately, I feel like the reason why we lost this fight is I think I played the best I could. I don't think I could have done much there. I felt like if Taric had ult, it probably would have been slightly better. Or if we landed just a bit more skill shots, it'd probably be better. Nevertheless, move on to the next fight. Here, both my Taric and Bel'Veth gets caught. And I think the reason why I was heading bot side is because I felt like, oh, I have TP. I shouldn't really make the Jhin sit bot with Garen. It's going to be really hard for him. So the thought process here is like, okay, maybe if I go bot and, you know, I hope my team doesn't fight. But, you know, unfortunately they got caught. And now the enemy team is on Baron. I felt like we probably could have fight this because as long as I keep my distance, I probably could have kited them pretty well. We pick up the Janna here. Darius tries to flash for the Kiana here. I accidentally stole the Baron, which is kind of great for my team, but now Darius is dead. And I could have continued this fight, but I see Garen coming from mid lane. So I tried to run here. I made one misplay here. I feel like if I played this slightly better, I could have Zhonyas, dodged the Garen Q, and avoided the silence, and then maybe I could have lived. It's hard to say, but overall, we got the Baron. I sold the Baron. And then you know, it's 13 to 12. It's not that hard, or it's not that uneven. But when this upcoming Drake is coming soon, my Darius unfortunately got caught when I was trying to take top and base and come for a recall, or come for a TP. Taric once again misses the stun, and also he does not have ult. I feel like half the fight in this game he doesn't have ult. Either he wasted it earlier or it's just coming up. But overall, you know, I can only do so much with the Baron buff stolen. My team tries to surrender, but I felt like it's still pretty close. I don't think it was that far apart. The enemy does get Ocean Soul here, but I feel like I probably could have still carried. I think I shouldn't have I don't know why I went Rabadons this game. I usually go for Void Staff, because at this point in the game, Void Staff will provide full value. So it's kind of weird for me seeing that I went for Rabadons instead of Void Staff. Here, I face checked, but I was ready. I figured Kiana would probably be around here, so I was kind of ready. You'll notice that Taric does have ult here, and the reason why I didn't go in is because I'm like, my guy, Taric, where's the ult? Where's the ult? I'm waiting for the ult. And it isn't until like the very last moment he decides to ult here, and then we just all die, and you know, like, it's a 4v4. I don't blame Darius for this, because Darius is handling Garen, and we surrendered, and that game was just rough. Like, it was just really rough. So, moving on to the next game here, we're against Ahri, and again, I think we've played this matchup multiple times. There's a few ways Ahri can approach this. Ahri could start W and start trading with me, in which case I would just trade back with Q. If Ahri starts Q and tries to push the wave, I will also trade with either Q or E. That option is viable, but with E, I would have to hit the wave and her as well. Mainly the wave because I need to even out the push. In this matchup, I decided to go for first strike again. I think Ahri would have been fine here, but I just felt like because I'm rushing Lost Chapter with her, if I can get Lost Chapter faster, it's probably much better against her. So you can see here, she started Q. What I should have done here was definitely try to walk up to bait out the Q instead of trying to, instead of like, look, I'm getting hit here for free. I should have just walked up, predicted that she's gonna Q, and walk backwards to avoid getting Q, which makes her waste a cooldown on me. You can see that her Q is mostly aimed at me and not at the minion wave, which tells me that I can probably control this minion wave pretty easily, which is what I do here. You can see that she's, like right now I'm trying to dodge it as often as I can, and I'm trying to just keep the wave in the middle so I can harass her easily, but I don't want to push it this time because I believe they have, let me try to remember here. They have a Lee Sin jungle, so I don't really want to push up, you know, get flash charm, burn my cleanse, burn my flash, that kind of stuff. So I'm just trying to keep it in the middle. I don't want to hold a freeze because I feel like holding a freeze against Ahri isn't as easy as holding things against like melee champions. Right here I see she tries to Q the wave. I see Kha'Zix is coming around, that's why I went in for a hard trade. Lee Sin comes here for the flash E. I think this time, this is a very good W because I block Lee Sin's path and there's no way he would walk over the gravity field just to get Kha'Zix there. Right now, I'm in a good spot where I have enough mana, or I'm almost at the point where I can get Lost Chapter, and Ahri is kind of running low on mana. At the same time, she has no TP. So you can see here, she tries to go for a cheeky recalls. The way I stop cheeky recalls is that I don't walk up immediately when they walk back. I wait a bit and then I see if they're under their turret. If they're not under the turret and they're basing somewhere much safer, I usually don't pursue it. But if they are, you know, there's no harm in trying to scare them with E. Or just having the threat of Eing them is enough for you to stop them most of the time. So once again, I'm just trying to wait for my Lost Chapter, which I actually have. I think right now I'm just looking for a really good base here. I know that Ahri is running really low. You can see that I'm pinging her. Maybe we can look for a dive because there's a big wave. But I see my jungler basing, so I don't push the topic here. I could have based here, but I figured that, okay, since Ahri is low on mana, and she might try to push this next wave, burning her entire mana bar, let's see if I can try to bait her to push it, and I might be able to freeze it. The problem is, I forgot I have Cleanse. If I had TP, this would have been fine. What I should have done in this case, where I have Cleanse, was wait for it to push, and then I would shove it back with E and R. You can see I burned Cleanse there. I was like so confused, like, wait, why am I not TPing? And because of, so if Ahri didn't roam, it wouldn't be a big, actually no, if Ahri, you know, came back to lane or roam, it would have been bad either ways. If I had just pushed the wave, if Ahri roamed, she would have lost the whole wave. Sure, she gets a kill or two, but she would have lost the whole wave. But because of my, you know, mistake here where I thought I had TP instead of Cleanse, I basically gave her 3 kills, and actually inted, really. Like, I didn't die in anything, but like, the way I see it is that I gave her a really free roam, and that is definitely my mistake. Had I just been paying more attention and, you know, thinking more critically about the current state of the game, I definitely would have made that mistake. But we move on. You can see here, not much is going on in the lane here. What I see here is that I knew that Ahri is probably going to roam topside. That's why I tried to move up to manipulate the minions into hitting later than my minions, so it might create a push towards my side. But you can see here, that doesn't really happen, which is weird because the enemy minions aren't really that hit. It kind of happened because their cannon minion died later than my cannon minion, so I kind of made Ahri miss the cannon minion. But she gets double buff, I only get red buff here. We both get a kill, which is not too bad. I already have my E upgrade. I E upgrade here because, you know, it's a mage versus mage matchup. There's no reason for me to Q upgrade. She's not melee. I don't really need to walk up to Q her as often. So I see that Ahri is roaming bot again. And mind you, like, they have an enemy Shen here. Which is, you know, kind of expected that the enemy is probably going to make a lot of plays bot side. There's really not a lot I can do to really influence the bot side of the map. Because if I go there, if I get picked off by Lee Sin and Ahri, I can't scale. It's just going to be really bad for me. So the best thing I can do here is just try to take as much platings as I can. If no one's defending me, I can take as much platings as I can. I think Ahri going for a roam is fine for her. I think me taking platings is fine for me. That's just how our champions work. If we look into the numbers, I got about 480 gold plus EXP. I see Ahri is trying to roam again. I could have definitely based, but because I knew Ahri was roaming, I can't just leave the lane neutral. I have to do something just to try to get back something here. Bard tries to help top, but it's too late. So I get another plating here. So in total, I get about like maybe 640 amount of gold. 640 amount of gold plus EXP and plus minion waves. You could say like it's kind of similar, maybe slightly lesser than what Ahri has now. Ahri has 5 kills, I only have 1. And Ahri has, I think, 10 CS less than I do. But if I was farming better, if I didn't do the mistake earlier, I definitely would have been much more ahead and the roams would have been fine. Here, we get a really nice catch onto the 3 of them. The Swain lands a really good never move. And then we just wipe the kill, wipe the floor here. Swain gets a really good quadra here. It's not much to talk about aside from the fact that I hit well and then Swain got a kill. I think this next fight here, we're trying to prep for Dragon. The enemy is already there, so they have prio. But here I see Maokai. Had I not missed that E, I think I could have gotten the kill there. But because I'm already this far deep, like if I missed the E, I definitely should have just went out. Here I'm just in a really, really bad spot. You can see I'm trying to wiggle to predict the Shen's taunt. Shen didn't even land any ability on me. I just got killed by Dragon here. This is definitely my bad here because I feel like if I just... maybe if I landed the E or if I didn't land the E and I backed up more, I would have been able to live and, you know, the fight would have been much, much better. I think overall we still win the fight here, but, you know, it's definitely one of those little mistakes where I should not have done. I'll just let the clip play a bit more because I think the Swain actually gets kills here. I pinged the Gore Drinker to note that Swain or Lee Sin has Gore Drinker. Lee Sin misplays here, misses the Q, misses the flash Q, and then Swain gets basically another quadra here. Here we see Ahri is getting caught out here. You can see this game I went for Lich Bane, but realistically I think I definitely should have went for Zhonyas instead. The enemy has Ahri, the enemy has Twitch, the enemy has Lee Sin. There's really no reason for me to walk up to try to Lich Bane someone. Instead, I should have gotten Zhonyas to try to, maybe like, let's say if the enemy tries to kick me back into the team, or, you know, insect me back into the team, I can Zhonyas. Or if I'm caught in a really bad spot, I can just Zhonyas, delay for my Swain to come, for my Bard to come. I just feel like this is the game where I kind of egoed and decided, hey, I want to one-shot someone, so I went for Lich Bane, which I think is a really shit reason to go for Lich Bane. So I'm kind of upset about that. But nevertheless, here my team tries to do Baron here because Ahri and Shen is bot side. Shen does TP tops here, and I think we do get the Baron here. Swain once again carrying us. We get the Baron here. We trade 1 for 2, but you know, I think overall it's worth for us because I burned Ahri's ult and Shen's ult earlier in the bot lane. Otherwise, I feel like this fight would have been slightly worse. You can see here, I usually go for Void Staff. I'm not sure why last game I went for Rabadons. Really, really weird. But I'm going to let you see this mistake I made. Yeah, you know, it happens, but I wasn't thinking. I saw the angle to one-shot both of them, but I didn't think about, you know, what could have happened if I just flash into Ahri's charm. I should have thought about Ahri's charm before doing that. It's really just my mistake there. And because of that mistake, the enemy had more time to scale. But this is an upcoming fight here. I get almost picked up by Ahri because I have cleanse, but because I have cleanse, I wasn't too scared, and also my team was around. Plus I have stopwatch. Once again, Swain cleans up the fight here after my mess. And we get drag here. I believe we also get Baron. Yeah, we get Baron here up as well. And the game is looking pretty good for us. All I need to do here is not messed up again, alright? Because I feel like I've already messed up a ton. So all I need to do here is not messed up. Bart bravely goes for an engage here. I'm surprised that the enemy didn't... I guess the enemy wasn't expecting Bart to just tunnel in. My ult, I kind of used my ult slightly earlier here. and I didn't hit them, but we get a 1-for-1 in terms of support. Lee Sin does try to go in to catch the Kha'Zix here with Shen's ult, but Kha'Zix just jumps away. Swain gets a really good double move on the enemy team as well. Twitch tries to kill the Swain as quick as he can, but Swain is just too tanky and has way too much health, and also the fact that he has Zhonyas basically helps us win the whole game. You can see the enemy can't really retaliate against the Swain. There's really not much the enemy can do, and we just win the game off. So in summary, what I've learned over these 2 games is, 1, I definitely can't autopilot. That's a general rule really. I need to think more of my upgrades, my items, and also where to place my W, predict situations. And the second thing is, again, Lich Bane versus Zhonyas, and also other alternatives. Lich Bane is really fun to play with, but if the enemy has hard engages or, just undodgeable on-click abilities, Zhonyas is definitely much better in those situations. Hope you guys learned something here, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.